Hi guys, today's video is going to be super interesting because we'll be comparing two Turkish bows. Have a look. Two Turkish bows, one from Spearman, another from Yuwen. So the Spearman has actually been touted as a durable and efficient bow for several years, and it has been quite a good bow for a while. So now I actually collaborate very closely with Yuwen, and we work on this bow, made a lot of changes to it. So nowadays this one becomes our exclusive version because of how much changes to it. This bow has literally been designed to destroy this, okay, outright destroying this. So we're gonna go into the details, just comparing, inch per inch, and see what are the differences and would this fulfill its prophecy. All right, so let's start with the handle. The handle of the Yuwen actually is just a little bit tinier than the Mariner, because Mariner has actually been one of my most preferred in terms of grip design. So, but it is actually a little bit large for some people. So the handle for the Yuwen bow is actually mostly based on the Mariner bow, but I reduced by just a tiny little bit. So it's not as big as the Mariner, but it feels comfortable. Whereas the Spearman is actually really boxy. If you can, let me just compare it and you will kind of see that what I mean, right? So unlike the Yuwen, where they kind of curve around the sides and curve around the front, the Spearman is actually, they kind of just like cut here and here. They don't really curve. So as a result, the cross section of this bow is almost like a rectangle. So the corners here are actually quite pronounced. They are very rectangular. So let's see if the video can catch it. You can see it's very rectangular. Okay, rectangular. So the handle feels very boxy. Compared to this one here, it looks more like organic, right? It looks more organic. It looks curvy. Okay, so it's rounded. It's rounded. Right, so that would be the handle. The Spearman, in terms of grip, because it's being more rectangular, I do feel that the corner is kind of like not as comfortable a little bit. That's why I never said that the Spearman is like comfortable. The Mariner is more comfortable than the Spearman, and have been very consistent with this. The Spearman is not really known for its handle. It's very boxy. So for this one, I would say that the Yuwen grip is actually more comfortable because it's actually based on the Mariner instead of the Spearman. Now, in terms of the arrow pass, I think I don't need to talk much about it, right? So this is very boxy and it's just fat. It's too fat. Whereas the arrow pass here, again inspired by Mariner bow, it is slim. Okay, it's actually just as slim as the AF bow. So the paradox, is good. The arrow doesn't have to bend too much around it. This arrow pass is good. And then in terms of the design of the riser, let's compare them. The Spearman does look larger. You can see, right? Because the grip is boxier, it does look larger. However, the handle on the Yuwen is actually heavier. So the thing is that even though this looks kind of large, but the wood they use is actually a very low density wood. So overall, the handle is actually really light. Whereas for the Yuwen, this techno wood they use is actually heavy. It's very heavy. Plus, inside here is actually a steel core. So it makes the overall handle or the riser extremely heavy in comparison to this one. And that actually makes this one actually more stable. It reduces the hand shock, reduces vibration much more than this one here. Okay, so in terms of just in terms of like aesthetics of the handle, I would say actually the Yuwen is also better. As you can see, there's actually not a lot of manufacturer who would put like some sort of design for the riser. Most of them kind of like just cut like rectangular, like the Spearman. You see, it's actually quite rectangular, very basic. They just wrap like with a resin wrap here. This one we have like shape. Okay, there is a shape to it, and I do find that this shape to be very interesting and very beautiful because it is the only one manufacturer that I have like that. All the other manufacturers that I have, AF, Mariner, everyone else doesn't do this. So I do find that the Yuwen is very interesting when it comes to the riser design. Plus, of course, the added steel is a great advantage. In terms of the limb, okay, even though it would not be very fair to compare a carbon against a glass bow, but because the Spearman is actually really expensive, it is the second most expensive bow, second only to Mariner's full carbon. So this is really expensive and it costs more than this one, even though this one is a carbon ceramic version. So I would say that even though it's not the same technology, but because of the pricing, I would put them together against each other. So this one here is a standard bare pole fiberglass on both sides with a bamboo core. Okay, so nothing special about it, just very common. Whereas this one is, okay, let's see the size first. The size I think is very comparable. It's not significantly different. I do see that the Yuwen is a little bit wider. Okay, but the Yuwen is carbon on this side. This is a carbon weave, and then actually behind that, which you cannot see very well, behind the weave is actually unidirectional carbon, and then this is gonna be difficult to catch, but behind that carbon, that gray layer there is actually ceramic foam, which is very light to reduce the weight, increase efficiency. But because it's gray against black, it's not too obvious, not that easy to see, but there is a layer there. And then towards the belly side, we actually have wood because wood is stronger than foam when it comes to compression. So this is to prevent the fatigue on the ceramic foam. Okay, we have wood on the belly side core, and then of course we have bare pore glass, but this one is a thick glass because we want to reduce fatigue. Because if you were to pair just a regular, the common bare pore glass here against a carbon, that the glass is gonna crack. Okay, so we have to use a thicker one to compensate against a stronger carbon here. So I said before this that the Yuwen bow is much better designed because we consider every details, what layers we use, what kind of material on each layer, and the thickness. Everything has been considered so that we do not have problems. The fatigue is as minimal as possible on the Yuwen. Okay, profile. So in terms of the length, this one actually is about 48.5 inch, and this one here is about 47 inch. So this one is indeed a little bit longer. Let's compare it. Putting it on the floor, and you see one. This one is a bit taller, right? So this is just a bit longer. This one here can draw to a maximum of 30 inches. This one can do a maximum of 31 inches. It is slightly larger and draws a slightly longer. So for Western archer especially, I believe this one would better match you because 30 inch probably too short for most people. Okay. In terms of sear, okay, this is where I actually have very good reason why I developed this one. Where I already have this, I developed this. So it used to be that Spearman actually makes some very good sears, and the bows are very efficient. But over time, I don't know why, but they seem to be getting fatter. The sears are getting fatter, like that. You see, it's fat. And I have been quite dissatisfied with this kind of change. I do not know why I make it fatter, which reduces efficiency. So that's why I want to have my exclusive version, which is more efficient. So let's compare the sears. Right, so very clear to you which one is lighter. So the lighter one less mass, it's gonna be faster. Okay, have a look there. From this side, actually not too obvious. Yeah, it's not too obvious, but I can see that there is actually a little bit less mass on this one. Even on this side, the Yuwen is lighter. So, oh, look at the bridge too. The bridge, I think, is quite obvious. I mean, it's like maybe 3 times by volume. So, Yuwen bow seems to have all the advantages in terms of you know, the design. It seems to be on the better design, and really designed to kill this guy. Even the string, in fact, actually the string also, they are both double looped. So this doesn't show very well. I have to like really stop here and show you. So the Spearman string actually is double loop. You can see it's thinner here. I'm not sure if it shows very well because it's, you know, it's all black here. So it's double loop and it's thicker here, and we did exactly the same here. The string has also been optimized so that they are fairly similar. And I'll show you the chrono result later, but for now I'll just roughly compare Yuwen against Yuwen. Okay, so this is actually the older version, the second batch. So we actually had this one, actually a third batch. So we actually made multiple changes over time. The second one, actually we made a lot of changes, but of course it's still gonna be beaten by the third one. I don't know, we improve over time, right? So have a look here. The handle. Oh, by the way, this one here is the V2. This is the V3. Okay, the handle and the arrow pass, not too much difference. Even the layering is actually still the same. We didn't change much about the layerings. The CS is the big change. You can see it's thinner, and then the bridge has been changed. And of course, the previous version doesn't have a steel core. This one is actually just the wood. It is solid wood, whereas this one has steel core in there. So this one is actually heavier. There's more mass because of the steel inside. This one is actually lighter because there's no steel in there. Okay, so have a look. They are the same bow but slightly improved with the V3. So I'm gonna show you the draw profile now. So let's start with the Spearman. Okay, the Spearman. This unit here is 40.5 pounds at 28 inch to the belly. I measured it the other day. Then the next one, this is the second version. Oh, by the way, the string is red compared to the third version, which is white. It can help you to identify which one when you see them in the video. So this one, draw profile. This one here is 36.5 pounds, 28 inch to the belly. And the last one, oh sorry, that was 37 pounds, 37.5 pounds. And then this one here is 39 pounds, 28 inch to the belly. So this one here. Oh, actually this one feels smoother, by the way. Even though this is like supposedly heavier than the other one, the 37.5 pounds. So actually this one somehow feels smoother to draw. But that's it. So in the speed test, this Spearman will be tested first with 2 different arrows. One is lighter, one is heavier. You can look at the details of the arrows and the grain per pound, the result in a description. But this is just to tell you the differences, okay, what we are doing. So this Spearman being tested first, and then followed by the Yuwen second version. So we want to see how much difference does it make between the second and the third. And then after that, of course, the third test is the exclusive version, Yuwen bow. So they are not all the same poundages. Okay, so I mean, all three bows are here, there are different poundages. So it is not a very direct comparison. You cannot compare the absolute speed directly. It's not fair. You have to look at the grain per pound because each of the poundages is different, but we are using the same arrows. We have two set of arrows. One is lighter, the other is heavier. So you look at the result and then you decide which is more efficient.
More fire. 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 More.
Now that you have seen the result, this one here, the V2 is slower than the V3. Okay, and one of the main reasons is because this one here is indeed a slightly higher poundage at 39, and this is 37.5 pounds. So this is slightly less poundage than this one. So of course this is gonna be slower, shooting the exact same arrow as this one. But the difference is substantial. It's actually quite a big difference. So that shows that actually there is some improvement on this one to make it faster. But what is more interesting is between these two, this one being 40.5 pounds, which is actually heavier than this. This is only 39 pounds. 40 and a half, 39. But this one is faster than this one. So that shows the new exclusive Yuwen bow for Bamboo Archery is the new king.